Alright. I'm gonna find back the intro.
There's a special place in hell for you sometimes, just know.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Tiana.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is WongaGyal, the podcast where we bite, tear, chew, and swallow some Jamaican and Caribbean food culture topics. Yeah. So before we get into it, of course, you know, if you guys are interested in seeing the visual side of WongaGyal, make sure to check out WongaGyal on Instagram and WongaGyal on YouTube for all the visual food and culture goodness. And of course, if you guys have any ideas for future podcasts, reach out to me, you know. Send me a DM on WongaGyal on the Insta.
Yeah, and just as a disclaimer for this episode and every episode going forward, know that all the views expressed on this podcast are of our own.
Yes.
They're not anything that is of the collective. They're personal ideas, personal views, and personal observations. So we're not speaking on behalf of anyone.
Yes.
So don't cancel us.
Please. I mean, if you want to cancel us, like, cancel us, you know, because I'm a grown-ass woman. If you want to cancel me, I don't
Pull a
really
chat on
care.
my now, take it back.
Yeah, chat to my back. Alright, so you all might be wondering what we're going to talk about today. If you can recall from our intro video, if you haven't listened to that, you can go back, listen to it, season 1, episode 1. So we played a little game of hot seat, and the first question of the hot seat was coffee or tea.
Mm-hmm.
Both Ashley and I agreed on tea, but today we're gonna talk a little bit more about maybe something that like coffee people are more into. But you know, just because I'm not an avid coffee drinker or Ashley isn't an avid coffee drinker doesn't mean we can't comment on things that are going on in the Jamaican food landscape. And so I guess the hot topic of today is Starbucks in Jamaica.
Yeah.
The reason why this is relevant. So you guys know Starbucks has been in Jamaica for a little, almost
3 years.
3 years now. Almost
First one
3
was
years
2017.
now. Yeah. It has come up in conversation because in July 2020, they actually opened their 8th location.
7th.
8th.
8th? So which one? Which are the 8?
I'ma tell you, girl. I'ma tell you.
Because I only count 7 in my head.
I'ma tell you. Because I thought it was just 7 too. So let's, just for everybody's education, so we're all on the same page, right? Mm-hmm. Starbucks landed in Jamaica, opened their doors on November 21st, 2017. Their first location was in Montego Bay, Jamaica at Doctor's Cave Beach. Fast forward not even a full year later, in March of 2018, the second Starbucks opens in Donald Sangster Airport, also in Mobay. Then now comes the sketchy one, because I dug on Google, could not find when exactly this Starbucks opened. However, it exists because there are reviews on TripAdvisor for it. Okay. And if you search the hashtag Starbucks Trelawney or Starbucks Falmouth, there is a photo that will come up of one of the Marleys at the Starbucks. And if you look on Google Maps, it also comes up on Google Maps by the cruise port.
So by the Trelawney Pier.
Falmouth Cruise Terminal is what it's called. So sometime we're assuming in about early 2018, not 100% sure when, but in early 2018, the third Starbucks opens in Falmouth. Then in June 2018, the fourth Starbucks opens finally in Kingston in Ligani.
Yeah.
That's when it really caused a stir, because I think that's when a lot of Kingstonians, at least, were realizing that Starbucks was here. Because I never really hear about it that much in 2017 when it was opening in Mobay. I mean, it was an exciting thing, but it wasn't really at the forefront, at least of my...
Yeah, and to be honest, when the whole, whenever there are the debates on social media about, having this foreign brand come in, I can't remember if it was when the first one happened in 2017 or the first one in Kingston happened in 2018.
I think it was the one in Kingston that stirred a lot of that conversation, because it was now coming to the attention of at least a lot of the people in our circle on Twitter.
And then it's also...
quote-unquote Kingston Twitter.
And I guess also people started to realize the spread, that it wasn't going to be focused for like... Because when it was open in Montego Bay, people were under the impression that it was more for a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
So now it's in Kingston, obviously catering to locals.
Right. So guys, let's just recap, right? The first opened November 2017. By June 2018, right? That's not even a whole year later. They have a fourth location, right? By December 2018, a fifth location pops up in New Kingston. By August 2019, we have a sixth location opening up in Island Village, Ochi. By October 2019, there's the seventh Starbucks location opening in Waterloo Square, which is where the new Fontana is. And the most recent appearance, July 1st, 2020, the 8th Starbucks location opened at the AC Hotel.
You know what I'm thinking? The reason why every article you read classifies the one by AC as the 7th is probably because of the location of the one in Trelawney. Because if you do a quick Google search, it lists out all of them for you except that one. And I'm wondering if it's because of the limited access that people have.
Maybe.
Because not just any and everybody can go over to the pier, from what I know.
Maybe.
So maybe they don't classify it as a public and open Starbucks.
Right.
Only for those on the cruise ship, I guess.
I say it matter because them still collect money from it in daytime.
Obviously, but I think that's just the reason why they classify only us having 7 versus 8 because of what the public has access to.
Yeah. Of course, as you guys know, this has been, or maybe you don't know, this has caused a big debate. Not just amongst Jamaican coffee enthusiasts, but also amongst people very involved in business, people involved in the economics of Jamaica, of our,
and especially people who are very much interested in developing brand Jamaica, because they thought Starbucks went against that.
Right. But something interesting is that I found, like, literally on the Starbucks website, and it's something that they don't shy away from. They're not interested in covering up. There's actually a quote that says when they first opened in 2017, their intention was to open up 15 stores over the next 5 years. So as you can see, we're in 2020 now. That's 3 years? Mm-hmm. And we're at number 8.
They said when they had the opening for the one by AC, one of the owners, he actually was quoted in the paper saying that by 2021 they should have at least 2 more open.
Well, there you go. It's because, they want to have at least about 15 here. But their main focus is not just to sell coffee there. Their focus is to create local jobs, deliver a unique customer experience, and support the region's coffee producers. Mm-hmm. I know that last part definitely causes a lot of debate, right? Mm-hmm. Because Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, it's a huge part of brand Jamaica. Huge. If you didn't know, like, Jamaica exports so much of its coffee, especially to Japan. So much so that Japan celebrates Blue Mountain Coffee Day. And so it is an industry that has the capability to really grow, but an industry that's already a thing. It's already very, very huge. And so I think anything that threatens that, or anything that seems to threaten that, people are just like, whoa, what is going on? And then, of course, Starbucks is so attached to American culture. So it's like you just see the name Starbucks and you just automatically assume that there's nothing to do with Jamaica in that store.
I mean, like other American brands or other international brands that enter into Jamaican shores, it's gonna be an adverse reaction because that tends to be the immediate, like a reflex to that Jamaican people have is once it's international, they think that every ounce of profit made is gonna be repatriated back to the head office of the home country. For the whatever brand is being introduced. And to be honest, I think that I have different views, especially because of the uniqueness of Starbucks itself. Because just like how you read, because the website you read from was Starbucks Jamaica website.
That was from the Starbucks website.
So it says that it's to
create local jobs, deliver a unique customer experience, and support the region's coffee producers.
I read something today about the most recent opening of the Starbucks outlet, the one by AC Marriott, and it supports that what it says because the owners were, as I said, quoted. It's public information. You guys can go and look in the Gleaner for the article, and it says that they hire a lot of Jamaican people. They're all Jamaican people working in every outlet, but the one especially by AC Marriott, all the fixtures and the furnitures, they're from local manufacturers. So even the countertop, the wooden countertop they got it from a local, not a store, but like one of the local carpenters made it, and furniture is made locally. Everything they want to, because they want to inject money back into our local economy as well. So I support that because obviously they're staying true to the motto and the aim of what the global brand wants to achieve. Obviously, I've had questions about Starbucks though, especially in relation to our local brands. So Cafe Blue and Cannonball.
Yeah, but it's important that people as much as it's a big company, a big foreign company coming here, even if you look back I have here July 2018, Audley Shaw had said, Starbucks isn't here just to import all their coffee. They have pledged to work with us, and by
in accordance with Starbucks globally.
Us meaning Jamaican coffee farmers, the entire Jamaican coffee industry. But I think Starbucks is a product of capitalism. So to me, there will always be some sort of devil under there. But I think Starbucks plays its part in trying to create connections with other countries that have large and prominent and sophisticated and exquisite coffee, a coffee product, because so they have in their stores right now, in their Jamaican stores, as well as in some of their US stores, they have a line called Starbucks Reserve, which is not the coffee that you'd get behind the counter, but the coffee that they sell in the bags, whether it's by bean or it's grounded. And that coffee line has a whole existence to itself. So there's Starbucks Reserve Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee, which for them, and they said on their website, it marks a key milestone in the company's long history of sourcing coffee from Jamaica. And I don't remember when I found this out, but I do think a while back when a lot of the conversation was happening about Starbucks and them coming to Jamaica, I do remember seeing in an article somewhere that some of the coffee that they even serve behind the counter does include a blend of Jamaican sourced coffee.
That's interesting.
I don't know what percentage, I don't remember, don't quote me, but I can vaguely recall reading about that. And so I think by having the reserve and by opening its doors here, they really thought that was a step in the right direction to develop a partnership that was already there.
Existed. And I think these are little things that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Even if it's public information, it's not something that people will go hunting for. Just on the surface, them see an international brand coming into your local shores, and immediately them go write it off. And I remember clearly one of the arguments made on social media was the competition that's going to be created for our local coffee houses, i.e. Cafe Blue and Cannonball. And I
mean, that's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
Competition is a healthy part of a business landscape.
It is, because it encourages productivity. However, one of my other perspectives on Starbucks coming in relation to local companies is that Starbucks also offers a product different from Cafe Blue. Now, Starbucks, to me, this is personal, is coffee or drinks on the go. Apart from the 1 and 2 students and workers that you'll see sitting in there doing work, they use the coffee house for that purpose. It's really just something quick to grab and go.
Yeah.
For me, if I go to Cafe Blue, even if I'm going to pick up breakfast, it's probably not going to be the quickest trip ever.
Yeah.
Also, unless it is public information, I would love to know how their business has been affected since Starbucks came around. Because an argument was that Starbucks is going to come, but because Jamaican people are so loyal to Cafe Blue, nobody not going to go there. However, Starbucks opened number 8. So if they're not profitable...
Well, Starbucks opened number 8 and Cafe Blue just opened number 7.
Exactly. So my thing is, there is enough room in the industry, 1 and 2. I think the 2 different companies, they offer different products.
Yeah.
I know that Cafe Blue does hot chocolate, coffee, both cold and hot, and they do tea, hot and cold as well. The variations that you can get at Starbucks is very different from what you can get at Cafe Blue.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I am not a Cafe Blue person. And I am not a Cafe Blue person because, and of course, enough love to Cafe Blue. You guys just open a new location up the road from me.
Yeah, big up.
So I will be visiting you more because I do think that maybe I didn't visit Cafe Blue as much because they were in Kingston 6 and up in Papine. So it wasn't in my immediate surroundings. But I also think that I wasn't interested as much in Cafe Blue because I always got the vibe that they were coffee.
And they're
not, but in the same sense, their main push is
definitely
coffee.
The name alone
says it. You know, they're located literally, their hub, their iconic location is literally in Blue Mountain or on the way to Blue Mountain. So that was always the impression that I got. So because of that, I never really felt like it was... I'm also very particular with the things that I drink. I don't really like smoothies and milkshakes and them thing and the sweet milk stuff. I'm not really a big fan. And I feel like that's what Cafe Blue's main product is. So, but I feel like you're right. That there is enough. I mean, how many people are in Jamaica?
Almost 3 million.
Almost 3 million. Come on, there's more than enough space.
But, and I say, from an economic perspective, the evidence shows that, I mean, everybody know if you're not making profit, you wouldn't open up a new location.
Right, exactly.
So obviously, both Cafe Blue and Starbucks are benefiting in that aspect. And to me, all right, personally, I used to go to Cafe Blue a lot, and I would get 1 out of 2 things. I either get iced tea, or I get, which is just cold green tea, or I'll get hot chocolate. I really love their hot chocolate. My sister goes to Cafe Blue every day, but she just goes in the morning to get a cup of coffee and then she goes to work. But then if she feel for Starbucks, it's the same thing because it's, as I say, it's a quick grab and go. If I want to go out for a certain kind of breakfast, then I wouldn't think to go to Starbucks. Whereas Cafe Blue would be one of my options because I've gone to Cafe Blue and had very good breakfast there.
Yeah, no, same. Cafe Blue's breakfast, I would say, is very good.
Very good. Both in Papine and the one in Sovereign. But honestly, the only time I buy food in Starbucks is if I'm already there and I see a sandwich and I say, oh, let me pick this up just because it make already and I'm on the go and I'm running out.
And I think that's the thing. I think people see coffee house and think that they're just competitors, just like that. But that's not the case because everybody has a unique selling proposition, you know? Because when I think about Starbucks, all right, like for me, for instance, there are specific places I go for specific things, right? Because when I go Starbucks is one thing I order, and that's
the green tea
matcha green tea latte iced. As you know, I'm not a coffee drinker, but something about them matcha green tea latte, and I know it's not the great one. Patrick from Little Tea would literally have my head right now because I know that Starbucks, their matcha blend is like 50% sugar, 50% matcha. So it's not the purest, it's not the healthiest, but it tastes so good. When I go to a coffee shop and I don't order matcha, my next order is a chai tea latte on ice. Me not like Starbucks chai tea latte. I don't like it.
You like the one from Cafe Dolce?
I love the one from Cafe Dolce. So when I'm feeling for a chai tea latte, I will go to Cafe Dolce. Cafe Dolce also has, during the Christmas season last year, they had their eggnog latte, their eggnog chai latte. That was really good.
I'm glad you brought it up because it's the same thing for me now. Because as I said in the previous podcast, I'm not big on coffee. But when Starbucks have the pumpkin spice, we've gone over there a long
exactly.
time. And I love that one that they do.
Exactly.
But on a regular day, if I want hot chocolate, I'm going to go to Cafe Blue.
Right. And so you see there's a Cafe Blue for the hot chocolate. There's some people that swear by Tea Tree's hot chocolate. But then, you know, if you want like a nice, you could drive out into the hills, then you go to Cafe Blue. Like, everybody has their own thing that they do really well. And I don't go to coffee houses very often because that's just not a part of my daily life routine. But from my experience, I don't feel like any one of them does everything to my liking. Yeah. And that will near be impossible because it's not Tiana own any of them. It's not Tiana curating the drinks in there. So not all of them will appeal to everything that I like. But I think it's important to bring it up because as much as people want to say, you know, Starbucks go stifle things, literally the coffee house industry in Jamaica has blown up. That's in the
my
past
perspective
5 years.
And
because so I have them here. Like, Cafe Blue has 7 locations. Cafe Blue started in 2005 and they have 7 locations. They have one in Irish Town, one in Fontana in Mobay, one at Donald Sangster, one at Sovereign in Ligani, one at Norman Manley International Airport, which is an airport in Kingston, and the one that just opened in July in Super Value, right beside Super Value Fresh Foods.
Right off the bat, there are 2 out of those out of the group that's in direct competition with Starbucks right now, because Starbucks also is in Donald Stanton, and Starbucks is up the road from the Cafe Blue in Sovereign, and they're coexisting perfectly fine.
And then so that's Cafe Blue. Of course, you have others.
Cannonball.
There's Cannonball. Cannonball opened in 2003. So Cannonball even was in existence before Cafe Blue. At least that's what I found from my research. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they have 4 locations. They have one in Lushusan, one in Sovereign North. The first one was in Manor Park, and they have one in New Kingston. But then, of course, there's so many others.
New Kingston is literally right across the road.
Right across the road from a Starbucks. And they're all coexisting. Well, debatable that they're coexisting because I did see I came across an article about them considering closing down that one because
the New Kingston one.
Yeah, because that is their slowest.
I feel like that was their slowest before Starbucks existed, because when I used to work in New Kingston, you could go into Cannonball all hours of the day and it was always empty.
Well,
that's debatable.
My thing about I always felt like Cannonball was like more for the uppity crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like it was...
It's for ladies who lunch or go there for...
you know, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it serves the community that it...
If it's a market...
It's owned by the Matalons. It serves the community.
Have a target market.
Exactly. It serves their target market just fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then, of course, you know, you have the others, you know, just to name a few. There's Cafe Dolce, which I swear by. I might be biased because they're right up the road from me. But there's Cafe Dolce, there's 24/7 Cafe in Pegasus, which is
that great. One is very nice.
There's Grosvenor Cafe in Manor Park, there's Island Coffee's Cafe, of course Susie's Bakery and Coffee Bar, which big up Mojito Mondays. There's Rituals Coffee House, which is interesting because it's a Trinidadian brand.
Really?
Their own. If you go to Trinidad, there's a Rituals like on every corner. Yeah, I'm surprised we only have one, but yeah, and of course,
I feel like that one has been around for a very long time.
Yes, and it does well because the last time I went in there, the place did a ram.
That is literally every Saturday.
Yeah, and then you know you have Tea Tree Creperie, which also serves coffee and cafe house.
They have
things.
a very nice. Is that the lemonade slushy?
Their mint lemonade is good. Nice. I hear that their hot chocolate is phenomenal.
Really,
I've never had it before, but I do want to try it. Then you have Press Cafe, which their whole thing is different because you can get like printing done there.
Yeah,
so it's
like that's the main business, right?
Yeah,
printing.
It's like a cafe and a printing station in one, which is really cool.
That's the one on Arden Road in Emirates.
And you have Daniel's Coffee Barrel that just opened downtown, which I thought was so nice because, I mean, I don't work downtown, but before Daniel's opened, I never got the impression that people were really getting and grabbing coffee in downtown. And if they were, it was very quick. It was like a grab and go.
Yeah, from what I remember with experiences downtown as it relates to breakfast and a whole, most people, and I could be wrong, but most people will go to Digital because Digital has like an entire cafeteria with different stuff. But it's also kind of out of the way for a lot of people who are downtown as well.
Well, Daniel's is right on Harbor Street, so and I they've been getting good business from. I mean, they recently opened. They're fairly new. Check it out if you can.
Yeah, was there earlier this year?
Yeah, literally earlier this year. I don't even think it was, and it was actually. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like little before COVID, which I was very surprised about for a whole new business to be opening near COVID time, but it works. She seems to be doing well. Big up Brittany, who is, I don't know if she's the owner, but she's one of the brilliant minds behind Daniel's Coffee Barrel. And they're expanding so much because I know they only open in the week, but they want to open on Saturdays now, starting at the end of July. So, but yeah, so I said all of that to say, like, there is space. Starbucks isn't coming to take over. And I mean, Starbucks serves the purpose of the people who need Starbucks.
That's my argument at the end of the day. They have a target audience and their market has been treating them very well. And I'm sure those who want Starbucks appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I just think Jamaicans naturally have anything, like a pushback against anything international.
Yeah, but that's also because we're just loyal. Like, we're loyal to brand Jamaica for the most part.
But we're loyal to brand Jamaica, but Starbucks open number 8, so there are obviously people who are loyal to Starbucks as well. And they have to be local. Well,
you know, it's a thing. It's like, you're loyal to brand Jamaica, but you're also frightened for foreign things. Because let's not pretend as if Jamaicans don't frighten for foreign
that's a
things.
different argument completely, but Jamaicans are definitely frightened for new things.
Yeah, frightened for new things, frightened for foreign things.
I'm not gonna lie, when I go inside a Starbucks sometimes, it just feel nice and it make me feel good, and I just want to go buy something nice.
You look at AC, like the back of your neck, and you know, say you're getting a nice blended drink that tastes the same.
Yeah.
It's very consistent. But even that is a whole thing. So I read an article that was saying that Starbucks, if you're really looking into the nitty-gritty of the quality of Starbucks coffee, it's not the greatest coffee.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Which, I mean, come on, it's commercialized. The coffee has to be commercialized to be delivered on such a large scale.
But then I'm glad you bring that up, because when the Starbucks brand was being introduced in Jamaica, one of the arguments that was a counter argument to people saying it's going to be a competition for Cafe Blue, someone got up and said, but nobody goes to Starbucks for the coffee because the coffee is
trash.
Yeah, it's trash. So you go for the other products that they offer.
Yes, and people who like Starbucks coffee, they're not going to find that coffee anywhere else because it has a unique taste, because
trash.
It is... Starbucks, I'm so sorry if you're hearing this. You're doing great. You're doing great, sweetie.
I forgot something about the coffee though. I'm not gonna lie. On a hibiscus berry tea, something bad.
It's good. It's actually
the pumpkin spice bad. But the coffee have a
yeah, and it's because they use a blend of, and of course this is not a part of their reserve. Their Starbucks reserve, I'll repeat, it's separate from what they serve behind the counter. But, you know, from what I understand, their reserve is very high quality coffee. Most of them actually feature different countries. So there's Starbucks Reserve Blue Mountain Coffee. There's one from Colombia, one from Costa Rica, one from Ethiopia, one from Hawaii, Kenya, Brazil, Vietnam. So they're trying to, quote unquote, ethically source these other coffee. Let's not go there. But these other coffee things to sell. There's also,
I feel like it has to be said. When does ethically sourced become exploitation? Because when you think about it, the whole concept of a franchise is that whenever a franchise is 100% different from a multinational, and I think people don't realize that the difference, because when you have a multinational, you have the head office in one country and every other outlet outside of that is still owned and controlled solely by those in the home country. However, for a franchise, you can get a license to operate under your own management, and then you pay basically a percentage of profits, whatever is agreed between you and the person or the company that owns the head brand, which is what Starbucks is. So Starbucks is a franchise, so it's owned and operated locally with a relationship abroad, and I'm sure they repay whatever percentage. I don't know what the agreement
Whatever
is.
it is.
But
Adam
I say
Stewart,
this,
let us know.
yeah, I say this because when they refer to it as ethnic, what do you call it? Ethnic what? Ethical sourcing.
Yeah.
Ethical sourcing. People can interpret that as them wanting to expand, so they give you control as a franchise, and they're sure of profits from you at the end of the month, because at the end of the day, if you are sourcing all your materials or your products locally where it's cheaper, then there's a possibility where it benefits them more than them opening a multinational in a different country where they would have to put in all of their own sourcing. So when them source it locally, then hey, it's cheaper coffee because it's in Jamaica.
True.
It's cheaper manufacturing of furniture and fixtures because it's in Jamaica. So they're sure of their profit at the end of the month. So there's a thin line with that where there is evidence and there's validity to that argument right then and there, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Starbucks has over 30,000 franchises.
Oh yeah,
across the
all
globe,
over the world.
I think they said in over 70 countries across the globe. So there is a thin line between you doing this because you want to benefit regional companies, especially because you've had relationships with them prior, like how you said that they were always using Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, so it would be a good move for them to be in Jamaica. But when does it become exploitation at the same time, which I think is a different argument, because it's not just Starbucks. There's so many other brands who mask exploitation as franchisement in a lot of developing countries, and one would think that they do this purposely.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, because it's clearly a thing. It's clearly a thing for them to, and this is Starbucks I'm talking about, to rapidly expand whenever they plant seeds in a country. Because I remember when I went to Trinidad in the beginning of 2018. I was there from January to May 2018.
The end of January.
And I remember being slightly bad mind that they had Starbucks and we never have Starbucks in Jamaica. And I remember I never actually went to the Starbucks in Trinidad, but I drive past it because it's near a movie theater that we'd go to very often called Movie Town. And the ambience always looked nice, and I heard that people would go there and study and blah 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 blah. And then, like, after doing some research, I was like, wow, Starbucks opened its first store in Trinidad in 2016, and they already have 9 locations.
That is wild.
Yeah.
But Jamaica is on track to do the same thing.
Jamaica is on track to do the same thing. And so it's good that you bring up that whole thin line between exploitation and,
ethical sourcing.
Ethical sourcing, because it's like, what is even the definition of that line, that thin line, and when do we know that line is crossed? Because as much as Starbucks has their unique selling proposition and the appeal to their target market and whatever, I mean, at the end of the day, Cafe Blue, Cannonball, Cafe Dolce, they're Jamaican. We know they're Jamaican because they're only operating in Jamaica. And I cannot fathom that Cafe Blue would probably be the biggest competitor right now for Starbucks.
Definitely.
And I don't even think Cafe Blue can even think about such rapid expansion.
Which is why I brought up, the whole thing with people masking exploitation as franchisement. But to be honest, it's very easy for us to judge on the outside, because at the end of the day, their internal affairs could be what we don't know. So they could have policies that treat the employees very well. It could possibly be better than what our local coffee houses do for theirs. But we're not going to know that. And one of the reasons why there's validity to the arguments that we're making is because history proves it. We know about the things that have happened in the past when international companies come into local countries and, as you said, plant their seeds. And to be honest, we've seen benefit from Starbucks so far because they employ locally.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if this is a front, people. But everybody were working at Starbucks nice and happy every day. Every time you go in there,
that's on brand. That's on brand for Starbucks. But we can also argue that it could possibly happen in Wendy's, and it could
Yeah.
possibly happen in Burger King
Yeah.
and KFC. These
Yeah.
are all franchises that
That's
are
true.
internationally owned.
That's also another thing. Like, people were so up in arms about Starbucks, but them gonna name KFC every week.
Yeah, KFC is not local. We probably have a little local blend in there somewhere, but then there's local blend
Before
in
I
Starbucks.
before I go eat chicken and things, on there KFC.
No, chicken and things nice, you know.
I've never been to chicken.
Really?
And things.
No, Tiana, it's like a cultural experience.
I
You
know.
have to go to Chicken and Things.
I've never
I'm gonna
been.
say big up Jason Lloyd, because him and Jason Lewis were the first guys who introduced me to Chicken and Things in Manor Park. Bad. The fried chicken, bad. Yeah, but see, these are the little things that people will not remember. Just because KFC has been there for so long, it started possibly with the same pushback like Starbucks. It coming on the local scene, and people. I wonder if people remember that KFC isn't local.
I don't think so. I think people are fully convinced that KFC is now a part of Jamaican food culture.
Which it is.
But that's for another episode, guys.
That is definitely for another episode. Definitely. Also, I think it's very important for people to remember what brand Jamaica consists of.
Yeah.
Even if it's not locally owned, you have to remember that these companies are employing Jamaicans.
Yeah.
They're putting money in Jamaicans' pocket
directly.
And also, it's an international recognition that a small developing state like Jamaica can have 8 Starbucks outlets open.
That's in and of itself is
says a lot, and you have to remember it's not just about the front and what it looked like, and it's an international company coming here. It's implications of us having places like this. You know how many tourists be like, Jano, so Jamaica have things like Starbucks?
Yeah, I was gonna say that because facts is facts. Tourism is our biggest industry. It is our biggest money maker. It
drives the GDP like crazy.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised. As much as, there are the people out there who are like, yeah, I'm going to another country to fully immerse myself in their culture. There are also a lot of people, more than you expect, who travel but want the same experiences of their home.
Definitely.
They travel, and this is something I experienced firsthand while I was in Trinidad with some other Americans. They come to these countries, to these tropical countries, these European countries, any country outside of their norm. But they want the same experiences. They want the same fried chicken from Popeyes. They want the same coffee from Starbucks. Them don't want sparkling water. Them don't want to eat no mannish water. They want the same thing. They just in a different environment. And so the fact that we can say that we have 8 locations where basically, honestly, the only place that I'm surprised Starbucks has not opened yet is Negril. I don't understand how them don't reach Negril.
We had a conversation, but you never know, because
I'm sure there are plans.
2 more.
I'm sure there are plans to go to Negril. But if you think about it, we're in Kingston. They're in Kingston, they're in Ochi, they're in Mobay, they're in Trelawney. Those are 4 major tourist points, tourist hubs. So, I mean,
as I said, at the end of the day, I do understand the pushback.
Oh, for sure.
Because when you look at it face value, you just be like, Jano, Starbucks are coming here to go push out Cafe Blue, yada yada yada. But I think people should also logically think about the implications of a company like that's opening here, and how much benefit actually goes back to Jamaica. Profits go back abroad, because at the end of the day it is a franchise, but it's employing. I'm sure you're going to hear about it if all of Starbucks closed down and everybody who was involved in the operations get closed down, because it's not about the people that work in there as employees. It's about the people who travel to Starbucks to supply them with coffee. It's about the people who drive and carry the milk down there. It's about the people who benefited from setting up the company and the different outlets with furniture and shit like that, because that's profits and income lost for them.
Coffee is a part of Jamaican culture. It's a part of so many people's Jamaican lifestyle, especially as we get more industrialized and commercialized, and people have to go to work earlier in the morning and stay up later at night because they gotta make that dough. So, but at the end of the day, drink what you want to drink, eat what you want to eat, the way you want to live your own life.
Eat what you grow what you eat.
Eat what you grow what you eat.
Oh God, big up the Ministry of Agriculture. Oddly Shaw Floyd Green. But don't knock anything until you try it. Be adventurous with what you eat. But stick to your guns as well. If you try something and you don't like it and you have a preference, stand behind your preference and support it.
Yeah.
And support brand Jamaica.
Yeah, for sure. And big up everyone in the coffee industry right now, you know, big up Starbucks, big up Cafe Blue, big up Cannonball, big up Cafe Dolce, big up the coffee farmers, big up
coffee farmers,
big up the coffee farmers, big up the people who are transport the coffee in and the truck them up and down the hill.
You're important and you really drive a force.
Big up the baristas, big up the cleaning staff of all of the cafe houses.
And big up those of you who, when we walk into the outlet, and it just make us feel so nice because it's important. You don't really know for turn days upside down.
You're so important to the food landscape of Jamaica, and we really appreciate you. And people, if you can afford to go out and buy a coffee and support Jamaican businesses, do it.
We encourage you to.
Do it, for sure. Alright guys, that is it for this episode of WongaGyal the podcast. Remember to follow us on Instagram at WongaGyal, subscribe on YouTube at WongaGyal, well, just WongaGyal on YouTube. And yeah, listen out for the next one.
Bye guys.
Bye.